pretty big duel coming up here this week. Just kind of what are your thoughts on it going in?
Yeah, it's good. It's just another good test, for the guys. It'd be fun. It's here at home. It's good. It's a good duel. We need a lot of fan support. So hopefully everyone's coming and be a good Christmas present to your kids. Get them tickets to come to the match. So looking forward to it.
Do you have any takeaways from your first Bedlam experience? Anything stand out about just the experience as a whole?
I think there was more Oklahoma State people there, which was pretty sweet. Obviously our fans are so supportive, and they were definitely heard there. The Orange Power chant was loud, and it was powerful, it was meaningful for our guys, so that was awesome. I think we wrestled well, we're still wrestling forward, moving forward, trying to score points, trying to score at the end of periods. That's just what we asked of the guys, so that was good.
A couple of big matchups this weekend, 125, 149, things like that. What are you kind of telling those guys going in?
Nothing different, it's just another opportunity to go out and wrestle good opponents. That's why we're training, we train and we wrestle, and we show up here to wrestle good teams and good opponents. That's like what you want. You don't go out there and just wrestle the guys you can beat all the time. You want to wrestle guys that are going to challenge you, so that's good. But with that being said, we have an expectation to go out and kick some butt, so we just got to go out and do that. It's going to be tough. It's going to, every match is going to be a tough match, and but I think it'll be good for our team, and looking forward to that.
They went out to Vegas as well. A couple of your guys wrestled their guys. Is there something to be gained from that they've not too long ago gotten their hands on who they'll be wrestling this week?
Yeah, I think it is good. I think as staff, we continue to make adjustments, and we've been able to do that so far. We got to keep doing that. They didn't wrestle their full lineup out there. Some of those guys we didn't get a chance to meet stuff, but obviously, 49 and 97, we wrestle those guys. So, yeah, it'll be good. They're going to be good matches.
I don't think Virginia Tech has traditionally been on OSU's schedule. Is that something you set up, or was that already kind of in motion when you got here?
It was already in motion. The timing was already on the schedule, and it was just one that obviously we were keeping. It's good. It's a tough non-conference match, and be good for both programs. I think definitely you want to be a part of duels that mean something, that matter, that move the needle. So Virginia Tech's, they got a good program, and we're excited for this match.
What have you just kind of thought overarching? I think it's the last duel for a little bit. What are just kind of the first semester thoughts on the first semester this season?
Yeah, it's been. I think our guys are getting better every week. You don't win the nationals in December, but you definitely get better during this period of time, and I think our guys have slowly been able each match. There's not a lot that goes into this. The routine's nice. You wrestle, you come back, you recover, you get ready for the next week. It's been a good routine. Guys will get a little bit of a break. It's been a tough first half of the semester for our team, for sure. We knew going into it this is going to be a challenging time, and we get into January and we're home all of January, which is going to be nice. Get some good training, get some good crowds here in Gallagher. So it's been a good start.
With the success this group's had, do you talk to the guys about avoiding complacency, and how often do you bring that up, or is that just not something that you even have to think about with this group?
I think it's something that you remind guys of, but I don't think anyone's goal is to anything in December. This is just part of a bigger process. These are steps along the way, and each week we're just trying to be better than the week that we were before. It's nice because every time that we wrestle, we can come back and we can make adjustments. We can think about, all right, this is what we did, this is what we did better, this is what we can improve on. It's been really noticeable for us to see our guys doing the stuff they're working on in practice, that's the most important thing, and these are just little tests along the way. We get to go out and test ourselves, and that's the beauty of competition.
Anyone in particular, I'm sure the answer is probably everybody, but is there one or two guys in particular that have impressed you with how much growth they've shown so far?
I think our whole team. I think all 10 of our guys have improved from where we were in our first dual meet against Utah Valley to where we are now. I think everyone's improved. I think different guys are, they all have different skill sets, so it's just for us as a staff, you got 10 different guys that are wrestling, and all 10 are a little bit different. How do we help them? And that's the challenge every time we come in the room.
I know you weren't here for it, but how much do you think the returning guys benefited from a strong finish to the end of last year?
Experience is so valuable. Once you've been there and you've done something, there's not that what if factor. So, our guys that have been there and had success in the national tournament, their aura and their demeanor and their work ethic, that's super valuable, for some of the younger guys on our team. So, yeah, definitely experience is good.
Marshall kind of asked about the team in the first semester. How would you evaluate you and your staff as new coaches stepping into this role?
I don't know. I don't know if it's for me to, give myself a grade or something, but we're still learning. We're excited to come into practice every time. I think our flow has improved. Each of the each match we've had, each competition that we've had. Obviously we're growing with these guys. I think that's what makes this first year so fun and special. And when you look back 10, 12 years from now, these are times you're going to really appreciate. But just like the guys, we're telling them that we're trying to get better. So is staff. We're trying to find ways to improve, and how we can help, whether it's our communication or our delivery or, whatever we do to kind of help these guys. We're trying to improve there every day too.
Have you had, I don't know, like a light bulb moment just where either you realized, hey, everything's clicking for me or for the staff, or has it just been kind of, every day, every week, it just feels a little more comfortable?
Well, I think in my competitive career, I didn't achieve what I did by just thinking I figured it out. As a coach, it's no different. As soon as you think you got it figured out, then you're getting passed up by someone else. So, no, there's some times you're like, oh, I think I made a mistake here. I got to get better. Or sometimes I think, did a good job here, but it's constantly, you're still trying to get better and improve. You don't figure it out ever. I think there's some times that maybe a little more comfortable than other times, but it's just definitely every day is a new day. Just trying to, just got to keep moving. We got to keep improving. That's the biggest thing.
How much do you think back on what it was like for Coach Sanderson at the beginning of Penn State, and do you talk to him at all during the year?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of similarities to what we're doing here now is what Penn State did, 15 years ago. College athletics is much different now than what it was then, that's for sure. But I think there's similarities in this team to what there were back then. And wrestling, I think history in wrestling, it kind of repeats itself. It's the if you look back in the history of time, it's the same programs, it's just different eras, right? So I think Oklahoma State is, we're trying to do the best that we can to continue to improve and get better.
With Caleb and Cam and DJ, they all wrestled at the same weight last year. Whenever you're bringing all those guys in, did you kind of have an idea that this is how it would shake out at 57 and 84, or were you kind of like, we'll figure it out whenever they get here?
No, we want to have a plan always. Like, we're never of the approach like, hey, we'll just figure it out, work itself out. I think that's the communication that gets miscommunicated and creates some issues. So I think there's always a plan. Nothing that we do is without a plan. We're pretty thought out in those ways. And if you looked at the roster, we needed some more depth, some more competition, and we had to, once they got in, you kind of figure out where guys want to go, and you communicate, and they all spread out. And obviously now they're all in the lineup and doing well. So I think communication is key. As a head coach, got to communicate with your staff. You got to communicate with the athletes like constantly. Any lack of communication is that would be a fault on mine.
How much of the changes some of those guys made is a conversation with them, or just you sort of laying out the vision and they either I guess agree with the vision and buy in, or they would express, hey, I don't know that I feel good with that?
I think everything is a communication. I think everything is dialogue back and forth. You hope that the athletes are going to believe in the vision that you have. I think we've been very fortunate that our team believes in that vision, and what we believe was going to happen, we're doing a pretty good job of staying in that line. So I just think it's a two-way street, goes both ways, and we just got to talk through it. And obviously it worked out this year with those guys.
David, I got one for you. So over the weekend it was announced that our duel against Iowa State is going to be on May national ESPN. I was just wondering if you had Any thoughts about that, or if there's any benefits from that type of exposure on national broadcast ESPN?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. I mean, I think when we got down here, previous to this, I'd done some commentating things with ESPN in the past, and a lot of these guys that do the production are guys that I worked with, so it was great. They've shot me some texts here and there, and find out that we're going to be on the ESPN main for the Iowa State match. That's big. It's big for wrestling. I think it's the second duel ever that's been on ESPN main. So it's great to have that type of exposure. It's good for our program. It's good for wrestling. So I think coming down here, we want to wrestle in matches that matter. We want to wrestle in things that make an impact in the sport of wrestling. I think that's important. We're moving forward. It's easy to have a selfish mentality of what's just best for my program, but it's what's best for wrestling. And what's best for wrestling is to get as many eyeballs in our sport as possible, and in that match we'll be able to do that. So looking forward to it.
When you did the commentating, how did you feel, especially the first time? Was that weird for you? Did it feel smooth just to slide into that role?
Yeah, I think it's it was fun. I enjoyed it. You definitely learn. You got to think about what you say for sure. But you're just talking about wrestling, sport that I love to do, and you just kind of give a different perspective of it. Which was good. So yeah, it was good.